Hi, today what I'm going to cover is medication, pain relief, when you're actually trying to overcome, well, broken ankle in my case, or a knee break I suppose, and just give you some of my thoughts on how this has gone over the past 6 months. So when I originally broke my ankle on Christmas Eve 2016, over 6 months ago, I went into the hospital and basically just sent me home with paracetamol. So let's say I broke my arm years ago, but it wasn't anything too major. After 4 or 5 days, I was going, I am in so much pain, I don't know how to operate. So got in contact with the GP, and essentially what they gave me was this was Tramadol and co-codamol. So Tramadol was 1 or 2 to be taken twice daily, and co-codamol was if the pain was getting too severe at any stage, just to take that also. So from memory what I didn't go to the 2. I'm not, to be honest, I'm not actually a big fan of medication. I can avoid it if possible. So I would have taken 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening, but I'm sure there were days I took 2 and 2. I was told all along to be careful with this because it is addictive. And in between times of it, I was also taking some co-codamol. So probably over a couple of weeks, well, probably over a month or more, between January and February of this year, I was fairly well pumping these in, but not even at the limit where I could have been. This one was to be taken every 4 hours, I believe it was. But you always need to be careful because the last dose could not include your next day's dosage. You always just need to be careful with that one. This one, although I was told a number of times, just be careful with it because it's Tramadol and it is addictive. What actually happened when I came off it, I just decided one Friday I've had enough. I don't know what this is doing, so I just stopped taking it. And by the Monday I was a bit of a mess, emotional wreck, sore. I read the leaflet inside this, and basically every single thing it says that you could have wrong with the side effects, I had it. So stupid me didn't realise, well, if it's an addictive drug, you're going to have problems and withdrawal symptoms coming off it. This here has actually given me a real fear of medication. So and stay with me. I'm really concerned. Be careful with this. I know people keep telling you to, it is addictive and so on. I should have listened to the advice more of the GP, and I should have even, to be honest, I should have been on a proper plan where I should have unwound off it. So go for maybe 2 a day down to 1 a day for a few days, and then actually come off it that way. But you know what, if possible, I would say try and stay away from it. And the reason why I can say that is because then my ankle didn't heal properly, so I had to have surgery. So second time round, what I was given was this one's here, Oxycontin. So like Tramadol, it's an opioid, I think that's the proper pronunciation, opioid, and it really is for pain relief. So Oxycontin was to take 1 twice a day, and that was for the 2, well, what was it, about 9 or 10 days post-surgery. I had to take that. But this time I was on a plan, so once I finished this dosage, so Oxycontin once a day, they're 12 hours, the last the slow release. And then I also had one called Oxynorm, again another opioid, and that was if I needed a quick burst to kill the pain. So I was advised to take that, but just finish, so in 1 box, finish that dose and get off it as soon as I can. And the plan was, as soon as I got off that one, and because I had the problems with Tramadol, I did say I don't want to go to Tramadol, and they agreed, yeah, it can have side effects. But having read about the Oxycontin also, they can cause an awful lot of problems. So please, if you're getting any, so please go online, and I'm not advised to be a Google doctor, but they do have serious side effects, so even read the leaflet inside them and just be careful. So co-codamol was what was prescribed also with this one. So I took them once for about 7, 8, 9 days. And I said, again, if there's any problems and there's pain and you need to take the edge off the pain, you could use co-codamol. All along, right throughout, I've been taking, this is Claxion, and this is really, I did it the first time when I got the ankle fixed the first time, but the whole idea behind this one is a spice when you're in plaster to make sure there's no blood clots. So when I got the surgery done more recently, again I was put on Claxion, and that was while the plaster was on, but also I continued to take it for probably about 8 or 9 days. I finished the box. I kept taking it because even when you come out of plaster, you're not putting full weight on your leg or whatever it happens to be, and the problem is you can still have clots. So until you're actually fairly fully weight bearing, you maybe should be looking at continuing to take Claxion. Or, and I mean, I didn't actually just put, and I don't know if there's any studies been done on this, but this here I talked about before, you know, the muscle stimulator. This definitely pumps the blood around your system. So there is an argument, if you're taking this, do you really need to do these? You know, if you're going told to take them, please do go ahead and take it. But you know, this also does a great job of pushing the blood around the system. But I suppose finishing off really on this stuff, and what I've done. So really, probably when I come off these 10 days out of plaster, I basically stopped medication altogether. I have been told I can take these and to take the edge off it, but this is probably the best advice I've been given. All these drugs you see here, none of them I've been in pain the whole time, and that's not a sympathy what we're looking here, but I'm always in pain, and I'm sure anybody listening can relate to that. So these things, all they do, and all I was told, all they do is take the edge off the pain. So even if you're taking co-codamol and you pump them into the full limit every day, you're actually still in pain. So the advice was like, you know, all you're ever going to do is take the edge off it. Now, I wasn't told not to take it, but I've decided over the last 4 or 5 weeks, over the last 3 weeks or so anyway, because I'm always in pain, but the downside of a lot of these is they make you drowsy. So my preference would be I'm more alert and I can do my exercise and all during the day, and even the exercise is probably a better drug than any of this. I just don't take it. And that's because I've been through all the thing and I actually don't feel any worse. The first 2 or 3 days I go, I really need something, but if I can actually resist that, I've actually found now, these really don't make much difference. And I think that the downside, particularly stuff like that, Tramadol, definitely, and some of the stories you've read about oxycodone, you know, the downside of it, the side effects, you know, there's always the concern you could get addicted to it. But even the co-codamol, it gives me some relief, but to be honest, there's not a great deal of benefit on it. And probably in some ways these guys here, you know, the calcium, but the bones, of course, that makes sense. Here in Northern Ireland, because you know we're so far, far coordinates are probably something like 54 north, 6 west, so we are fairly northerly, and so we don't see much sunlight. So you know, vitamin D deficiency is a problem here, and obviously that does have a problem in healing the bones. So one thing I was prescribed was to sit outside in the sun. But if you see any sun here, you're doing well. So that's one difficult thing. The other way is just to take the supplement. So because I have been found out to be vitamin D deficient, I do take these every day, and along with the calcium, so I take them a couple of times a day. But you know, coming in, I suppose my advice would be, if you do these ones, by all means, certainly in the early days, and particularly if it's post-op, you will probably need some pain relief. But please do consider longer term. Talk to your doctor if you need. But until I got my most recent one, I was never really given proper advice on medication. So you'll actually be surprised after a few days how you probably don't need any of this at all. And if you can do it, I'm not saying you're not going to be in pain, but you're still in pain with it anyway. So, you know, maybe think about getting up and walking. I went back to work as soon as I could, and there was even one of my physios that said to me, you know, if you're going to be sore, you may as well be sore at work or sore anywhere as you are at home. You're going to be sore anyway, so you know, don't lie on it. Get up and do as much exercise as you want. Positive mental attitude, and together with all that, try and skip a lot of this stuff out and get yourself as up and running as soon as you can.